predict the future is to have power over it. How many of you are contemplating the use of AI in your business, in your life, but it is ridiculously overwhelming? The amount of sites, the amount of apps, there's just so many. So what do you use? What should you use? What will actually help you move your business forward? And what would actually help you enhance your life instead of complicate it? Welcome back, everyone, to a Mindset Medicine podcast. I'm Katharine Loucaidou, your host. And today, we're going to kind of freehand this is what we're going to do. I have a lot of insight and I have a lot of strategies that I would love to share with you today, because as you may or may not know, I wrote a book called AI Secrets for Unstoppable Business Success and Life Hacks. And the reason I wrote this book is because I realized that so many people want to use AI. They want to embrace these new strategies, this new innovation, not that new, but new for most people, but they don't know where to start. And that's what I want to help you do today. I want to help you figure out where to start implementing AI into your business and possibly into your health and your wellness. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use concepts from my book, which you can find in all Amazon stores, and I'm going to walk you through basically a system that I created called AI E.M.P.O.W.E.R. And what it's going to help you do is with each letter, we're going to start helping you create the implementation process of AI into your business. So whether you are an entrepreneur and you own a business, whether you are a leader and you are running a corporation, a company, whether you're an executive and you are heading up a department, it does not matter. This is going to help you to start thinking about how can we implement? Where do we implement? There's a very interesting, it's an interesting mindset around AI right now. And here is what it is. AI is not going to replace humans. Humans using AI are going to replace other humans who aren't. Essentially, that is where we're at right now in our time, basically where we were in history. Those who began to implement innovations and new technologies were able to move ahead. One short story before we begin. You all remember Kodak. Hopefully you remember Kodak because you are somewhat in the age that I am. Kodak was, started their business in the 70s, and it was through film for photography. When it came to the 90s, Kodak was very proprietary about their film because they were the first people to start producing it en masse and developing photos. And you remember all that, you would bring your roll of film and you would get it developed and so on. So Blockbuster came in and they were starting to digitize everything. And then we had other innovations starting. So believe it or not, Kodak would not give up control that they had, and this what will we call it? It really was control over their film industry. They didn't believe that the digital film would ever replace the original film. I don't know what we call it. It's escaped me right now. But anyways, so they decided that they were just going to go full force on what it was that they had been doing for all these years, 20 years, 25 years. The problem with that is that, as we know, digital is what created the future of where we are now in photography, in videography, on social media. So because they weren't willing to adapt, possibly scared of the unknown, how do we adapt? They didn't bother to implement a plan for the future. They decided to stick with what they knew rather than moving into the unknown, educating themselves about it, and moving forward. I don't want you to ever be in that position. it is not a great position to be in, because the longer you wait, the longer it takes to catch up. Because as we know with AI, artificial intelligence right now, is the compounding effect and its exponential growth week over week over week is phenomenal. But what that means is that by the end of 2024, for example, it will have leapt 20 years ahead in a year because of its exponential growth, because it is a language learning system. It learns as we input data and information into it. And then as it learns, it grows, it learns, it grows, but it does this very, very quickly. So how can you keep up with what's going on? I'm going to help you today. So AI Empower is the system and the strategy, the framework that I have created. I am going to refer to the chapter in my book where I talk about it. So we're going to talk about A for the AI. A is to assess. Where do you begin? You need to assess, where do you need help with AI in your business? And you may think to yourself, well, I don't actually need help with AI. Well, the thing is that you do, because what it's going to do is it's going to relieve you of the tedious tasks that you do, and it's going to automate them for you. Rather than you having to scroll through every email in your email box, it can prioritize, it can sort for you. So what I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to stop and think for a moment. When we talk about assess, where in your business and in your company can you implement a system that will enhance what you're doing, but help you to work smarter, help you to work faster, help you to be more efficient in what you do? And why do we want to do this? Because it helps you gain back time. Who doesn't want more time? Time is so precious. Why waste it? And I use the word waste purposely, because why would you want to waste these beautiful hours we have in each day scrolling through emails when you can have an AI program do that for you? What if you could use that time instead, brainstorm new ideas, collaborate, network with people? Wouldn't that be better use of your time as a human being who wants to create relationships with people? Do what you do best and let the AI take care of the technical part of things, which it's really good at. So assess where you need assistance in your business. Is it in follow-up? Is it in organization of your day? Is it in helping you organize your calendar and your daily tasks? Maybe you wake up every morning and you don't actually have a priority list of what you need to do every day. You can find an AI program that will help you do this. It will help you to become more efficient if you don't feel that you are already. One of the best ways to start assessing where you need help is to keep a running diary every day of where you are finding yourself wasting time on small, menial tasks that something else could replace you to do that. And I don't say someone because, yes, you may have an assistant. What if some of the items every day that your assistant does, they didn't even have to do? It could be automated, and they could actually become more productive in moving your business forward with other items, like making phone calls to people, right? Maybe they are connecting on your behalf. Right now, we're in a time where we need a shift in our mindset. And we need to shift like Kodak didn't do and think to ourselves, okay, there are systems that can automate almost anything that I do. Where do I want to start? Where would help me the most today in my business, in my life, to help me get back on track? If we were going to talk about our wellness and our health, and we want to assess how AI could enhance our life in our wellness, in our health? Well, let me ask you this. Do you have a reminder to drink water all the time? If you're watching this video, you'll see I'm holding up a huge Yeti cup. I refill this about 4 times a day, and it's about 40 ounces of water. So I drink close to 160 ounces of water, which is about 2 and something liters of water a day. Why? Because it helps me to perform at my optimal. Water in your body, it flushes out toxins. It hydrates you. It hydrates your brain so you don't have brain fog. You're actually thinking clearly all day long. I can start working now and I can continue working all day. And very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? I obviously haven't drank enough water today. But what it does is, you know, that afternoon slump, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I'm not actually tired by that point of the day because the water continues to hydrate me. So that's just a small example of having an app on my phone or my watch reminding me to drink water every single hour of the day. I have another reminder, stand up, Katharine. It's crazy. I know. It's just such a small thing. But what it does is it reminds me I have been sitting in front of my computer or my desk for over an hour. Get up, walk around, move the blood around. Those of you who know my history, know I have had heart surgery. I've had a massive heart attack. I had a minor stroke. So for me, it's important to get up and walk around every hour. It's really important for the health. And this is not just for me, but it is for everyone. You need to circulate. It's not good to keep sitting. So small reminders like this that I don't have to think about. Now, that just brings me to another point. When you're assessing where it is that AI may be able to help you in your business or your life, I want you to think about where you know you could improve, but you don't have the time. You don't have the skill. Maybe you don't have the know-how to make something run automatically. That's where this can step in for you. So I'd like you to think about that because you don't have to be left in a position where you want to improve something, but maybe you don't have the money right now. Maybe you don't have the resources. AI will help you do that. And there are plenty of free AI apps and programs and sites that you can start utilizing. I list many of them in my book, AI Secrets for Unstoppable Business Success and Life Hacks. Many of them I offer. I also give free resources at the back of the book. You just scan the QR code and there are free resources there for you as well. So there's really no reason why you can't start doing this today. So let's move on. So we did the A, which is assess. Assess where you're at, assess what your needs are. Let's go to I, implement. So where do we begin implementing AI into our business? Well, I want you to imagine that you are walking into your office on a Monday morning. What if those first tasks of the day, which probably take up maybe 1 to 1.5 hours of your day, what if they were already taken care of? What if your team could anticipate customers' needs before those customers even asked? What if there was a chatbot on your website that had already been answering customers' questions before you even walked in to have to do that? So efficiency and better decision-making is how we implement AI into our businesses. So having a really great customer management system that is automated through apps like Zapier. And if these sound like foreign words, just make a note of what I'm talking about. Zapier apps that can connect software together. So for example, if you have a corporation or a very large business with multiple departments, and you want to connect, for example, the human resources to the delivery, the human resources contact to delivery systems, or you want to connect it to one of the other department software, that is what Zapier does. It will zap these software programs together so they communicate with each other. And you are not doing redundant work, taking those contacts, exporting them, importing them here, and having to do all these things. It can do that with what we call workflow automation. So when we talk about integrating, the reason why we want to assess first where we're at in our business and where we need the help is because once you know the where, now you're going to learn the integration, the how. All right, here's what we're going to do. We are going to integrate this and this system, and we're going to do it in this part of our business because this is the outcome that we are looking for. And typically your outcome is efficiency. It is saving time. It is freeing up other people's time, including your own, to be able to do more activities that perhaps cater to your strengths or possibly just to continue growing the business by creating relationships. So, what are the steps to implementation? First of all, you want to identify your needs. So, before you can choose the right AI tool, decide what your needs are within your business or your company or your life, whether we're talking about wellness and health. What is the goal and what are the tasks that you would like to automate? You're going to research, or you are going to hire someone who can provide suggestions for you based on what your needs are. I know that I do this for my coaching clients. I have coaching clients who are entrepreneurs, who are executives, who are leaders. What I do is I listen and I assess the needs. Where do you need help right now in becoming more efficient, in performing, having your team perform better? How can I help you do that? So what we do is we do research and we discover. You then get a list of potential tools, review them, evaluate which ones actually fit your particular situation. And again, if you need advice on that, that is where hiring a coach will help you. Someone who actually uses these tools and knows the ins, the outs. It also knows to what extent they'll be able to help, and will they be able to become scalable with your growth? I think that's also a really important point to remember is, are the tools that you are using right now, will they be suitable 6 months from now as you continue to go? Because you will grow. Mark my words, the more efficient you become, the more growth you will begin to see. Once you implement, the next really important step is to monitor what's happening. How is it being used? Is it working? Is it helping to smooth out the processes that you've had? Or are you having some hurdles? And where are the hurdles? Are they in the people using the AI because of a lack of education? Or are they in the actual system itself? So that brings me to now the next, which is the empower part of the equation. So E is for educate. It is really important to understand what the benefits are of that particular program or site that you choose. You cannot just choose an app, like, for example, an email app, which is run by AI, like I use on my phone, but not really understand all of its benefits, because then you're still not using it to its maximum, right? If you're going to use an AI program in your email, for example, know that it can categorize your emails for you. Know that you can actually set timers and schedule emails. Know that you can actually have a chat with team members about a certain email right beside that email. Can you imagine? You don't have to forward the email to a team member, get their response on it, and then reply to that email. You could actually speak in real time, discussing that email right in your inbox. It's phenomenal. But if you do not educate yourself on the benefits of that particular app you're using or that site, then you're really still stuck at step one. And you don't want to be stuck there. You want to be able to move forward consistently. And of course, education helps you stay ahead of the curve. I remember when I started doing video marketing. So, video marketing started about 10 years ago. I was the real estate agent who was doing videos on Facebook. Instagram really wasn't a thing back then. And so I remember I had been doing videos for 2 months, right? So imagine being one of the few people who's actually doing videos on Facebook 10 years ago. There were people who were talking about me. They were talking about what I was doing and why, all kinds of chatter going on in the background. So I went to a Christmas party at the company I was working at, and the owner of the company came up to me and he said, I don't know why you're wasting your time. Why don't you just get back to work and stop playing around with these videos? Just go sell. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I couldn't believe that the owner of this huge company that had like 600 people could not forecast that video was going to be one of the greatest marketing methods for years to come. Well, in usual Katharine fashion, I chose not to listen. It pulled me back for a moment, but I said, no, that's ridiculous. So I decided to just keep going forward, and I continued doing video, which then started to spin exponentially. I'm not going to say out of control. It was always in control, but my business doubled within 8 months. I was asked to speak on stages. I was asked by our town municipal council to do videos with them because my videos got more views than theirs did. It was a phenomenal way that it all unfolded. Why? Because I decided to innovate and be consistent at it and learn. I learned how to edit my own videos back 10 years ago. Educating yourself on new innovation is one of the best things you can ever do for yourself, for your business, for your company, for your employees, whoever it is that you are in business with, your clients. You are doing everyone a service by educating yourself on the newest technology that is now up and coming. So after the E for empower, we go to M, which is measuring. So in the heart of measuring whether all this is working, how do we do that? So here's what we're looking for. Are your clients happier? So if you have automated emails that you've created now what we call an automated email journey, where if this one thing happens, for example, customer purchases, that will then trigger the next email, which is, how do you like your purchase? Are you happy with your purchase? That email triggers the next email. Would you like to leave us a review? And so on and so forth. That triggers the next email, which possibly is a series of 12 emails over the next year, which is suggesting other products for this person, or they're suggesting updates. Maybe it's on the market. Maybe it's whatever the case is for your industry. This is what an email journey will do, is it sets a trigger and then the next one, the next one, the next one. But what that does is you now stay top of mind to your client. If your emails are to employees, maybe it's for recruiting, whatever the case may be, do you now begin to see a difference? What about among your employees? Now that you have automated many tasks, is their time freed up? Are they becoming more efficient in other aspects of the business? Have you removed redundancy of tasks? And now you're beginning to see growth in each of the departments? Has your team become more creative? Knowing they're embracing this wonderful new technology, artificial intelligence, possibly they're beginning to feel a little more confident about their future, that AI isn't coming to take their job from them. What it's doing is coming to take the tedious tasks away from them. And it's allowing their creativity to come out again. Because have you noticed that when you are so inundated by tasks that are, I just keep calling them a waste of time, because if I can automate those tasks, why am I doing them? Let the automation take care of it and let me do what I do best. Let me market, let me be creative, let me write. I hope you can see that too, that if you can automate the tediousness of the daily tasks, it gives you back control to do what you do best. Maybe that's sales. Maybe it's calling people. Maybe it's going out. Maybe it's playing golf with other people. I don't know what that is, but you just gain back time. And time is everything. So we go to A. A is for, we're at E.M.P.W.E.R. P is for the personalization. So let's talk about personalization when using AI. Because what I have noticed, and many of you have heard of ChatGPT. OpenAI owns a program called ChatGPT, and there is GPT-3, 3.5, and 4. And 4 is a very intuitive program. It has a lot of predictive analysis within it. It can be added on to other software and integrate AI into other software using the GPT. So ChatGPT, you can have wonderful conversations with it, and its usage is to help create intelligence. It will do research, but then it will create an intelligent piece of work. It will analyze a research paper for you. It will analyze laws. It will analyze an email that you input, and it will provide you a response that is unemotional, unlike human beings who can be very reactive and emotional. It will be very unemotional. And many times, I know even personally, it has saved a deal. It has rescued miscommunication that may have happened in a text or an email. So the mistake that I see being made is wholly relying on what the output of ChatGPT is. So the response that it gives, the first response is typically very cold. It is very technical. It can sound very unlike the way you speak. And that's why it's important to learn ChatGPT prompts and the way we need to input the information in order to get the output that we're looking for. So if I'm looking for an output, if I'm looking for example, I'm looking for a social media caption for a photo that I'm going to post on LinkedIn or on Facebook or on Instagram. And I'm looking for something that talks about mindset. And I want to discuss mindset in a reflective way. And I want to think about what people's pain points are that revolve around mindset. I'm giving you sort of like this context of how you would be searching on ChatGPT. So what you want to do is you want to tell it that you want the response to be conversational. You want the language to be casual. You want the style to be short, punchy. You can ask it to be humorous, but you need to input all of those emotions or the style that you're looking for. Now, there are other apps, as I do mention in my book, and when I have a speaking engagement and I'm talking to a company, for example, I will provide other examples that you don't actually have to input what that looks like. It already knows because it has headings. Would you like to make a blog? Would you like to make a social media caption? And then you don't have to input all of these instructions. But my point being that it is important to personalize what it is that you're doing. You do not want to post items that are straight out of ChatGPT because it's basically a computer that wrote it and it's not you. We want to hear from you, your voice. But what it can do is that it can help brainstorm for you. It can help grammatically fix your writing. So we're not looking for it to take the place of your writing. We're looking for it to enhance your writing. So once we have personalized, we are now going to the letter O, which is optimize. And the way that we optimize our businesses, our health, our wellness through AI is by reflecting, okay, so I've been watching how this is working now. I can see that the workflow is smooth. I can see that people are appreciating what we're doing. Is there a way now to make this run even better? I am a huge proponent of working smarter, not necessarily harder, because I believe that harder just means more grind. And I'm not about grinding. I am about growth. And I want growth to be significant and I want it to be done intelligently. So when you consider how something that you have implemented is working, such as AI, it is important to see now what your next steps are. Well, if this is how this is working now, what if we could now do this? What if we went from this growth to this milestone? What would we need to do? What would need to happen in order to achieve that next milestone? So this is how you optimize how you're using your AI. And most programs have additional features which will level up what you're doing. Let's go to the next letter, W. So I call W to work alongside AI. I feel it's very important that we are using it as our partner. It is not a replacement of us. It is enhancing us. It is an integration. It is a merging. And you'll see I just keep using words that are keeping us together. I truly use AI in my coaching business, in my other businesses, as a partner in my business, right? I will have conversations with it. I will give it ideas. And I will say, I'd like you to analyze this idea for me. And I'd like you to analyze it in this context. And I'd like you to find the gaps in my theory of how this will work. And it absolutely does for me. So for me, it is like I have my right hand and it is unbiased. It is impartial to my feelings. It's very polite. You'll notice when you talk to ChatGPT, talk to it nicely and it will talk nicely back to you. And these are some of the ethical concerns that do exist in the marketplace right now is what happens if we do embrace AI into our businesses and it starts to have a mind of its own. I believe that's where a lot of what I've been talking about, the systems that I've been talking about, I think that's where they come in. And that if you are monitoring, if you are measuring, and if you are optimizing, things will never get out of hand. Things get out of hand when you take a part of your business and you hand it over to someone or something and you hope that it's all going to be okay. It doesn't work that way. So I am a proponent that we need to have control. And if that simply means that we want to watch the measurements and the optimization, then maybe that's as far as you have time for control. But someone, if not you, someone needs to be measuring that progress of how this implementation is going and the fact that it's not being misused. So if you have employees in your company and you have instructed them to utilize ChatGPT, for example, I would be reviewing what it is that they are posting, for example, on social media. Review the type of information that is being put out throughout the company or the business? Does it sound like them? Does it reflect the values of your company? Does it reflect the language that your company has been using all these years? And if not, that's where tweaks have to be made. That is what has to be optimized. So it is important to keep an eye on each part of the implementation and that it is reflecting who you are as a company or as a person. And if not, then you need to go back and create new, I don't really want to call them rules, but there do need to be regulations in how it needs to be used. Like I said, very often I am looking through social media or I'm even reading blog posts and I think to myself, like, this was not written by you. I know it wasn't written by you because you've never spoken like this before. So it's really important to retain your authenticity as the company that you are. Now, if you want to, let's call it morph your company, have a morphosis into something different, then yes, ChatGPT will help you do that. But if you are just trying to enhance what you're doing, it is important to keep your integrity, your authenticity, and just use AI as an enhancement. Let's go to E. We're almost done. E for ethical consideration. So basically, this is what we have been talking about. We want to make sure that your privacy, your security are intact. So whoever is using AI in your company, do be sure that you are checking that. Make sure that what the information that you are receiving or utilizing in your business is in fact correct before you are using it. So you should be fact checking. If you are using ChatGPT or Google Gemini or Microsoft Bing, and you're using those for research, do be sure that you are checking that the research is correct before you go and put that out into the public. And finally, R. So the very end of AI Empower, R. R is to reflect and adopt. So you've taken all of these insights that I have provided you, you've gathered them together, and so you are now going to dive in and you are going to ask yourself, what are my milestones? What am I looking to accomplish? What is the outcome that I want? And the outcome isn't more business, right? Because that's very generalized. Be very specific. What is it that you would like to improve? Which part of your business would you like improvement on? And if it's many different places, that's great. Just make sure that each is individualized with a specific outcome. What is your vision? Is it going to stop at this one thing, or do you hope to implement it across the board, but you're going to do it in an orderly fashion where you're going to start with one, analyze it, monitor it, measure it, and then implement the next one? Because if you try to implement too many different things all at once, that is when you will have overwhelm within your business. Short-term goals with AI implementation and long-term goals with AI implementation. So be sure that you know what your short-term goals. In 30 days, this is what we would like to see happen. This is how we would like to see you people using it. At the end of 30 days, maybe you go from month 2 to month 6. This is what we would like to see. And now, what is the long-term vision? Where do we see this going? Because we know that this technology grows exponentially. We know that there will always be new products constantly coming out, new add-ons to our software. So knowing what your long-term vision and aspirations are will help to create that automation that you're looking for to gain back everyone's time. And finally, break down the steps that you are going to use to get your company or your business where they're at. And then go all in. All in. You may have hurdles. You may have challenges, but that's okay, because that is what's going to help you move yourself forward. I hope that this has been helpful for you today. I hope that Perhaps I have just organized how to implement AI in a fashion that feels more doable for you. And I hope that you do order my book because it will give you some spotlights on businesses that have implemented AI and what their outcome was. It will give you examples of companies in the past that did not embrace new technology and what happened to them. You will find old companies that did embrace AI and where they are now and where they're going. There is free content that you can use, which covers everything from mastering business ChatGPT to automated recipes with whatever is in your fridge. Thank you for tuning in with me today. And, remember this: innovation simply means that you are taking two things that exist and putting them together in a new way. You're taking what you were normally doing, you're including some technology that exists right now, and you are creating the 2.0 version of how you could do it better. I'll see you next week.